Hello friends, welcome back to TechScripted, and today I am excited to show you how I am switching between multiple AI providers and how I am handling failure gracefully and optimizing costs through intelligent caching and much more. Okay, so as you know, I am building AI powered applications here. Let me start by explaining the problem which I am solving here. Okay, so when building AI powered application, there are several things and challenges in front of me, which from time to time I had, tried to find a better solution. Like first thing is the vendor lock-in. So what if Azure OpenAI goes down or becomes too expensive? Because now also it is not everybody's choice because of the cost reasons and many other criteria which small consumers or small clients cannot afford, right? So I had planned for having a parallel implementation with both OpenAI and Azure AI, so that as per the client needs or as per the situation, user can switch between AI, OpenAI, or between the Azure AI. Okay, and coming on to the cost, API calls are expensive, especially for repeated queries. Yeah, and the reliability criteria where external services fail. And coming on to rate limits, which some of you might aware of. Okay, so both protecting our API and respecting provider limits, we have to see that. Okay, and coming on to the monitoring, I had understood the usage, cost, and performance, and come up with the solution in that case. So I had architected a solution that addresses all the concerns using enterprise design patterns. Let me explain how it is working in my case. This is the architecture of my project here, which I am displaying right now. I have organized this project following the clean principles, as already I had explained you in my previous videos, and shown you the core layers containing the interfaces, DTOs, and here I'm sharing my screen. I have organized this project following clean architecture principles, and I have this core layer. This is my core layer, as many of you have already seen. I'm just quickly going through this. Yeah, an infrastructure layer, which is here. You can see here is my data. These are my migration. This is migration part. Yeah, so this is my migration files here, and these are my repositories, decorators, and specialized functions. Okay, and this is the AI layer which I had enhanced in the course of time, and as this was my aim to build all specific AI implementations here in API layer, controllers and dependency injection setup is in place. So coming on to the multi-provider AI implementation here, let me show you my interface, IAI service interface. Here you can see this is my summarize async, this is my generate content async, this is my analyze text async, this is my generate embedded async, and this is my semantic search async method. Now how I am switching, and this is where my app config comes into picture. Okay, they're in my API project. I'll just show you my API project with my app configuration. Yeah, this one. Here my keys are there which I'm using it. So I'll show you this flow, how it is working. Based on that, in my code, I'll show you how I have implemented that. From there it is picking. And one thing here, currently I'm not using the env environment files for storing the keys. So but in my, if you want to see how how to implement that, you can go to my previous projects, where in Next.js or in React projects I had done that. And in this diagram you can see how from the app settings I am configuring the providers, that is OpenAI and the Azure OpenAI provider, and how my service factory is using that. Yeah, and how the correct way I had injected the, and the magic starts with the strategy pattern which I had defined in this file, which I had shown you, AI service interface, that both Azure OpenAI and OpenAI implements. Watch this. I'll show you my now implementation, how I've done this, how I can switch between Azure OpenAI and OpenAI functionality from my app settings, because otherwise I'll not be able to show you here. Yeah, so you can see currently I had commented out this section where provider is Azure OpenAI, and currently my provider OpenAI is working, this one. Okay, So I'll tell you how it is working, what the max try here and the time setting, seconds doing this, and how I'm implementing the circuit breaker, everything in detail, and how the rate limits are working, and how the poly retry is also working here. That I'll show you now. Coming back to my AI. Now what I can show you is the Redis cache implementation. This is how the request flows to the request flows with caching. So with my API request, which generates the cache key, that is SHA-256 with operation and parameters, hits by checking the Redis cache. If the hit is fine, then it is picking from the Redis cache. Otherwise, if it misses, then it calls the AI service. When it will miss in the case when the request has not already been made and it is the first time request going on to the TIS system, and then in that case it will not hit from the Redis, it will make a new request to the AI service, and then it will store in the Redis, and it is a 1 hour TTL which I had made. For now I had not changed it. By default it is. I wanted to save money here, frankly telling you, because that is the prime motive of everybody, not mine, but in most of the cases where we require a balanced approach, not too efficient and balanced, right? Which is best for I'm not see, this is for normal clients and customers like me, and some small scale enterprises, or some solo programmers, or some solo entrepreneurs, or some solo technopreneurs who wants to have such kind of setup with them, where API calls are expensive. GPT-4 can cost around $0.03 per 1000 tokens. Okay. If users ask the same question repeatedly, why I pay multiple times, this is where my implementation come into the picture. I have implemented intelligent caching using Redis here, and how it works I'm showing to you based on the steps which I had implemented, and which involves generating a unique cache key from the request, and then I'm checking whether if I had the cached response as I shown you in my flow, and if the response is cached, in that case it will return immediately within milliseconds versus seconds, and if no, I mean if not in the cache, then I'm calling the AI service and cache the result then. So let me show you the performance difference, how making the same API calls twice, showing the time difference also to you. I'm running this project to show you how my Swagger API is working in this case, how my Redis is working. Okay, my Docker is working, I guess. I need to check because I already set up. Yeah, it is working. So now my Docker, I'll show you how it is working and how the request will go through. I'm starting the Docker engine here. So here I had opened my Redis in the Docker, and I will start the Redis dev. So this is the way to start the dev. Now before coming on to the application, first I will check whether my service is running fine because or not, because otherwise if I keep on checking the other way, I need to make sure first whether this is running or not correctly. So in the terminal, as you can see, okay, now first I will check whether my Docker is working or not. Okay, yeah, it is working, I can see. Now let me ping it. So here I got a pong, and I'm ensuring here that it is working now. And one more thing I want to see, and this is my Swagger. Now coming on to showing you the demo for my Redis cache. Okay, so first I'll show you the cache info API. Let's see what it is returning. Yeah, so it is showing me that my Redis cache is working, as you can see here, right? So if you want, I can show you this method also in the code, how I had implemented this one. Yeah, so Let's see. Yeah, this is the one. You can see test cache. So cache info will also be there. So now coming on to the test cache method. So now I'm executing this one here, and it is showing me the request is coming from the cache. Okay, how much time it took? 251 milliseconds. So if I make another same request here, see now I'll see the time. Now you can see the difference. Initially it may, when the first request I made using the Redis cache, when my first request went to the cache and the cache stored that request, at that time to make that request it took 251 milliseconds for the system to return the response, and now it is just taking 37 milliseconds. See the difference. This is what due to the Redis implementation it has happened. Yeah, so this is showing my Redis key, what has been hitted here, and you can see this key is different from this key. Coming on to the code here, as you can see, this is the way I had implemented it. So I'll show you this function in my Redis cache service that I had made. So here is my this get async method. So this is where my Redis cache service I had implemented here, and this is my enterprise AI integration system in place, which I had built as a production ready architecture, and if not, it is close to the production ready architecture now, and it supports multiple AI providers currently, and I had made it to now reduce the cost through intelligent caching, and in place is handling the failures, which I'm gracefully doing it as I shown to you, and I'm also protecting against abuse, providing comprehensive monitoring also at the same time. And all my code is not available in the GitHub right now because I have some other plans. I had shown you the way I implemented. If anybody who is keen interested in getting, let me know. Please drop me in the comments what exactly is required or which module is required. I'll share that. And keep watching my videos, do subscribe my channel, and hope you liked it, or if you have something, do send me in the comments. That will be cool and I'll reply to that. See you guys.